Standard 7 Subject History. Lesson number 2 India before the times of Shivaji Maharaj. Introduction. Earlier, we have gained information of the ancient Indian empires of the Maurya, Gupta, and Vardhan. These powers ruled entire India or major territories of India, therefore, they are known as empires. After King Harshavardhana's empire coming to an end in the 7th century, no other empire came into existence in India. During the period from 8th to 13th century, namely, many different regional kingdoms like Pals, Rajputs, Cholas, Rashtrakutas, and Shilaharas, Yadavas rose to power in India. Rise of different powers. The Pal dynasty rose to power in Bengal during the 8th century. Gopal was the founder of this dynasty. Major part of Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, and Assam were under the power of Pal dynasty. Gurjar Pratihara's dynasty rose to power in central India near Ujjain during the period of 7th century. Avanti was its capital. In Andhra, Vidarbha, Kalinga, Kannauj, West Kathiawar, Gujarat, the expansion of Gurjar Pratihar dynasty took place. Many Rajput kingdoms emerged in northern and central parts of India during this period. Among them, the Gadwals of Kannauj, the Parmars of Malwa, and the Chauhans of Ajmer were the prominent ones. Prithviraj Chauhan, the third amongst the Rajput belonging to the Chauhan dynasty, was a very valiant king. Prithviraj Chauhan defeated Muhammad Ghori in 1191 in the first battle of Tarai. After this, Muhammad Ghori, with all his might, once again invaded India. Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan in the second battle of Tarai in 1192. Hoysal dynasty rose to power in the 10th century in Karnataka. From this dynasty, King Vishnuvardhan brought the whole of Karnataka under his dominance. Cholas of the South India, Tamil Nadu, were an important dynasty. Vijayalaya founded the Chola kingdom in the mid of 9th century. Rajaraj I and the Rajendra I were two eminent rulers of the Chola kingdom. Rajaraj first, using his naval strength, conquered the Maldives Islands and Sri Lanka. Rajendra I took up the naval campaign against the Malaya kingdom, King Shailendra. In the history of India, it is known as the first naval campaign of its kind. Rashtrakuta dynasty came into power in Maharashtra during the 8th century. Danti Durga was the first valiant king of this dynasty. During the reign of Govind III, the Rashtrakuta powers spread from Kannauj up to Rameshwar. Krishna III conquered the region up to Allahabad. The Kailash temple of Rashtrakuta era is one of the finest examples of carving architecture. Shilahar, Maharashtra's important dynasty, existed during the 9th century to 13th century. Shilahar's three dynasties rose to power. Among them, first is Shilahars of North Konkan. This dynasty ruled over the modern districts of Thane, Mumbai, and Raigad. Then Shilahars of South Konkan. This dynasty ruled over the regions of Ratnagiri, Sindhudurga, and Goa. Shilaharas of Western Maharashtra. This dynasty ruled over some parts of Kolhapur, Sangli, Satara, and Belgaum. Thane district's Ambarnath's Lord Shiva temple is an example of Shilahara architecture. Maharashtra's Yadava dynasty before the period of Shivaji Maharaj was the last prosperous power. Yadava dynasty's king Bhilyam V in the 12th century shifted his capital to Devgiri near Aurangabad. To To the south, beyond the river Krishna, he expanded his power. Singhan, the second of the Yadava dynasty, was the most capable ruler. He established his rule over Malwa, Karnataka, and almost the whole of Maharashtra. In 1294, Alauddin Khalji invaded Devgiri and defeated the ruler Ramchandra Dev. From then onwards, the Yadav power began to decline and finally came to an end. The Yadava period is considered to be the golden period of Marathi language and literature. Invasions from the northwest. Though in Maharashtra, Rashtrakuta and Yadavas ruled, but in the north, invaders from the northwest conquered the local dynasties and established their own rule. In the meanwhile, the Arab power had emerged in the Middle East. Arabs, for expanding their power, turned their attention towards India. Muhammad bin Qasim, an Arab general, attacked the Sindh province in the 8th century. By defeating the local ruler Dahir, he conquered the province of Sindh and Multan, but he never established his independent kingdom in India. Central Asia's Turks, Mughals and Afghans came to India in the period that followed and established their power. Turks began to invade India from the 11th century CE, expanding their territories. The Turks reached northwest frontier of India. Ghazni's Sultan Muhammad invaded India almost 17 times. During these invasions, he plundered the temples at Mathura, Vrindavan, Kanauj and Somnath and carried away enormous wealth with him. Sultanate in the north. Afghanistan's Ghur Sultan Muhammad Ghuri invaded in India between 1175 CE to 1178 CE. Qutbuddin Aibak was appointed to look after the governance of the conquered territories. After the death of Muhammad Ghuri in 1206 CE, Aibak began to rule the Indian territories independently. He became the ruler of Delhi. Aibak originally was a slave, so his dynasty came to be known as Slave Dynasty. Iltutmish, Razia, Balban were some important rulers of the slave dynasty. Razia was the first and the only woman ruler who ascended the throne of Delhi. Sindh, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and Bengal were under the rule of Sultanate during this period. After slave dynasty, the Khalji dynasty came to power. Alauddin Khalji of the Khalji dynasty transformed the power of Delhi Sultanate into empire. He extended his power up to south. After Khalji's death, the Tughlaq came to power. Tughlaq dynasties, Muhammad bin Tughlaq did different experiments in governance, but due to lack of practical skills, they proved unsuccessful. For example, shifting of the capital from Delhi to Devgiri, bringing copper coins in circulation, invading China by crossing the Himalayas. After Tughlaq dynasty, for some period of time, the Sayyid ruled over Delhi. After, the Lodhi ruled over Delhi. Ibrahim Lodhi of this dynasty was the last sultan. Because of his peculiar temperament, he made many enemies. Punjab's governor Daulat Khan Lodhi invited the ruler of Kabul, Babur, to fight against Ibrahim Lodhi. Babur in 1526 battle defeated Ibrahim Lodhi, and with this the 300 years old sultanate came to an end. Kingdom of Vijayanagar. During the Delhi Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq regime, the disintegration of the sultanate began. Against the Delhi central power in the south, there were reports from which formidable Vijayanagar and Bahmani kingdoms arose. Harihar and Bukka from South India were the brothers. Initially they were at the service of the local rulers, but during one of the invasions of Sultan, they were made captains and taken to Delhi. Thereafter, they joined the Sultan's service. As Sultan's representative, they were again sent to South. However, during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, taking an advantage of the political instability in mid-south in 1336 CE, they founded an independent kingdom of Vijayanagar. Harihar was the first king of Vijayanagar. Hampi in today's Karnataka was its capital. Harihar was succeeded by his brother Bukka. Bukka brought the region up to Rameshwar under his control. Krishnadevaraya. Krishnadevaraya ascended the throne of Vijayanagar in 1509 CE. In the history of Vijayanagar kingdom, this was the most capable king. By defeating Orissa's king Gajapati, he conquered Vijayawada and Rajamahendri and annexed it to his kingdom. Bahmani Sultan Muhammad Shah, under whose leadership the Sultan's armies had come, were defeated by him. During Krishnadevaraya's reign, Vijayanagar kingdom extended in the east from Cuttack to west till Goa, and in the north from Raichur Doab to south till Indian Ocean. He died in 1530 CE, and Krishnadevaraya was a great fighter. Likewise, he was a scholar too. Amukta Malyada is a compendium on polity he wrote in Telugu. He encouraged literature and art. During Krishnadevaraya's reign in Vijayanagar, the Hazaram temple and Vitthal temple were built. The sculptures of these temples were beautiful. For the development of agriculture, he provided irrigation facilities. Krishnadevaraya is described as a great and just ruler. With the death of Krishnadevaraya, the Vijayanagar Empire began to decline. The four Deccan Sultanates, namely the Adil Shahi, Nizam Shahi, Qutub Shahi and Barish Shahi, came together to battle against the Vijayanagar kingdom. Present-day Karnataka's Talikot Vijayanagar king Ramaraya and the combined forces of the four sultanates fought in 1565 CE. In this battle, Ramaraya was killed and the Vijayanagar's dominance came to an end. Thank you.